So once again, MrBeast is making headlines for something that no one wants to make headlines for. And no, this isn't about his Lunchables knockoffs that he's releasing. I ate worse stuff when I was a kid when there was less regulations on food, and I was eating them lead-filled Lunchables like lead was a part of my diet. I doubt the slop is any worse. But if you guys remember, about a month ago, this article came out by the New York Times detailing what exactly happened during the filming of Jimmy Bean's Beast games. If you didn't know, Jimmy Blizzard and Amazon Prime came together to make this game show where 1,000 people would compete for $5 million. You could even go to this website and sign up for a chance to be a contestant. But in this article, it talked about people being asked if they wanted to be buried alive, not being fed adequate food, even having contestants being hospitalized. But that wasn't all. People were being given medication days after they were scheduled to take it. Women who were menstruating and needed underwear were told it's not a medical emergency and were laughed at. And people who had lost and were supposed to receive a $1,000 consolation prize have yet to receive it. What's crazy is that a spokesperson for MrBeast said that everything was complicated by a CrowdStrike incident. CrowdStrike is a fucking cybersecurity company. How does that affect women getting clean underwear? Did you have to log on to a secure website to pick out the underwear you wanted? Did you have to log into a VPN? But all this came out, like I said, a month ago. Yesterday, Discussing Film tweeted out, MrBeast and Amazon are being sued by contestants on his upcoming Beast Game series for failure to prevent sexual harassment, failure to pay overtime and minimum wages, no meal and rest breaks provided to participants, and then it has a link to a lawsuit that I'll get to in a second. But it's crazy that MrBeast hasn't addressed everything that's going on with him. Like, I get the people around him are like, just ignore it until everyone forgets, but that only works for so long, and when you're the biggest YouTuber in the world, you can't expect people to ignore the bad things that happen to you. Like, this is one of the top replies to that post, and the rest are literally just talking shit about how they handled everything from just reading the tweet. They didn't read any of the details, and they're just like, stick to YouTube, Jim. Stick to YouTube, Jimmy boy. But in this lawsuit, it says that Jimmy Dean Sausage said publicly that contestants will get paid even if they compete for just 5 minutes, and that money wasn't a constraint because Amazon was letting him do whatever he wanted. Now, reading this out loud made me realize that there was no reason for him to let anyone know about how money was being spent. They're already on his show, and you promised them $5 million. I'm pretty sure they were already expecting you to spend millions making this happen. Like, would that not worry you? Like, the guy who brought 2,000 people here to compete on Amazon is assuring you that money isn't a problem. That sounds like someone who was told they were already past budget on episode 1. He's like, I know everyone's been asking about the money. I know y'all been asking me who's gonna get paid and when, but don't worry, we have all the money handled. And everyone's like, no one's asked him about any money. What is he talking about? The lawsuit also says that contestants weren't provided fair wages and that they were coerced into signing unconscionable contracts with illegal terms and illusory obligations being mischaracterized to avoid employment obligations under California law. Meaning that instead of saying they were contestants on a game show, they're like, yeah, they're just people we just brought 1,000 people here. No specific reason. The obstacle course? No, yeah, we just brought these 1,000. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the payment. We'll figure it out. Further down in the document, it details that 5 contestants are suing them, but then also a lot of this document is blacked out. Some parts being blacked out mid-sentence. Like they say, the defendants controlled when, where, and what the contestants... Why the fuck is that even blacked out? It says control over meals. I'm 1,000,000% sure that the next words were eat. Like, they even black out the reference pictures they have. And I know this is an ongoing lawsuit and things need to be kept private, but like, what the fuck is this? There are documents from the Kennedy assassination that aren't this blacked out. This looks like something you'd see in a Black Ops 2 cutscene. Mason wouldn't even be able to crack this fucking code. The numbers! There was this screenshot that wasn't blacked out by this lady who has made several videos on the situation, but under the exposed to dangerous conditions section, it says the production failed to do any sort of background checks on the contestants, and that one of them was found to be charged with 20 counts of battery, kidnapping, pimping, and robbery, pleading guilty to the pimping, even being kicked off the show for inappropriate behavior. And that's the only one we know of. Just wait until they find out the Bakersfield Bandit was also a contestant. A few pages down in the lawsuit, lawsuit, they bring up this handbook called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. And in that handbook, that is confirmed to have been written by Jimmy himself, they point out how he basically favored how he treated the guys, saying, really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. And if they want to draw a dick on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. And then right after that, it says, helping the boys make content apparently is translated to, and then it's blacked out. You can't put quotes around boys and make content and not expect us to think it was something sexual. I will say, because I am not a person of the law, this whole thing seems just all over the place for me. Like in the beginning, I showed you how they talk about they were being mistreated, but then 28 pages down, they start talking about the same thing, saying that 2 diabetic people had seizures because they weren't fed properly. And then right after that, it goes back to talking about that Rosanna girl and shows another screenshot from her video. Here it shows someone telling her that the MrBeast team used their own insurance to provide therapy to contestants, basically proving that they knew they were in the wrong for what they did. And then, like I said, the rest is just heavily blacked out, and we won't know more until they uncover it themselves. But I feel like Jimmy Beast should say something, even if it's just a tweet, and not like how his last tweet was where he says, I'm gonna let people do their investigation. I want him to sit down like Logan Paul in a dimly lit room and be like, look guys, I fucked up big time, but I promise to do better. But hey, who am I to tell the Beast Man what to do? But yeah guys, until this lawsuit is resolved, we're just gonna keep seeing people like me make videos talking about the lawsuit until it gets resolved, and then we're gonna make a video talking about it being resolved. Until then, peace! See you tomorrow, peace!